Have you ever thought to yourself, I want to shoot destination weddings only, and only in tropical places? In this video, we're going to be talking all about how to get you your dream clients and how to shoot the type of work you want to be shooting. You may already have step one down, which is identifying who your ideal client is. Wanting to book your dream weddings and actually booking your dream weddings have several steps in between. I'm Emma Berman, I'm a wedding photographer, and I am going to be talking today all about how to attract your dream clients. Before you go any further in this video, make sure you are starting off by asking yourself, who is your ideal client? What is your ideal type of work? Because you can't reach a goal if you don't know what your goal is. A good way to go about asking yourself who your ideal client is to think about some examples. Anything that involves people, I think it's important to ask yourself these kind of questions. What do they wear? What is their age? What lines of work are they typically in? That kind of thing. For me personally, when we were doing this, me and my husband, when we were brainstorming what our ideal client would look like, we actually went through celebrities and talked about like which celebrity would fit our ideal client image the best. And I landed on Florence Pugh, so.
You've been preparing me my whole life.
It's really helpful to think of real people. It doesn't even have to be celebrities. It can be, fictional characters in movies or TV shows. Either way, it's important to have a clear image in your head of who your ideal client is. This will inform all of the rest of your decisions. So start there, and then now I'll tell you what a great next step is once you have that down. All right, side note, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Aftershoot. You may notice that is the name of this channel. It is also an incredible AI software that is used for editing photos and culling photos. I personally have benefited very much from the culling feature. That was what I first was introduced to. It is a game changer in that sense because I no longer fear culling. They have added on editing options now too, where they use this AI software to study your editing style, to learn it, and then be able to replicate that on new photos that you bring in. As scary as I find AI, I also am very, very blessed by it, and I think it can be a beautiful, wonderful thing. Aftershoot can be so helpful in helping you cull through thousands of images and give you a bit of your life back. Check out Aftershoot. We've got a link in the bio for a 30-day free access pass, and you can find out for yourself what the hype is all about. Okay, so let's say now you've landed on your ideal client, and now you know that you want a Florence Pugh type person that is a little bit quirky, a little bit edgy, kind of cool, but also still really elegant and fun. Figure out what your ideal client is, and then ask yourself, where do I see these shoots happening? So let's say you're like me and you're a wedding photographer. Where do you see these weddings taking place? And make sure those things sync up, because if you're saying, my ideal client is Belle from Beauty and the Beast. She loves being in libraries. She loves books.
Actually, Romeo and Juliet's my favorite play.
And my ideal client would get married in Hawaii on the beach. It's like those two things don't exactly go together. Instead, maybe it's like, in an old European castle that has an incredible library inside. That would match my ideal client. So make sure those two sync up. So now you know who your ideal client is, and you know where you ideally would like to be working. The next thing you want to do is you want to curate your social media and your website to show that type of work. Everything that has to do with your brand, make sure it aligns with your ideal client and ideal location, etc. Now you may ask me, Emma, how do I do that if I don't have the content for that? I want to do that stuff, but I don't have that stuff. How do I get that stuff unless I do that stuff? What do I do? The way that you do it in the photography world is you make your own content. Don't miss out on styled shoots. If you're wanting to shoot weddings in Hawaii and Mexico and that sort of thing, invest. Fly somewhere that has that tropical look, that tropical feel. Hire some models that have that look, or find some people who live there locally who want their photos taken, and do a styled shoot. Rent a wedding dress. Now, if you hear styled shoot or content shoot, there are two different types of those. It's important to know that there are two different types. Sometimes you'll hear people talking about a styled shoot, and that's one that's being put on and tickets are being sold to attend it. There's also styled shoots or content shoots that people will put on that are not for profit. It's not for other people to attend. They're like, no, I'm putting it on for myself. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're somebody that wants to be the only one with that content and you're not wanting necessarily to be a copy paste of a bunch of other photographers. Then putting on a styled shoot that is just for you, there's nothing wrong with that. I've done that. I know a lot of people that have done that. Another thing to keep in mind when you're wanting to attract your ideal client is be good at what you do. There's so much that goes into it, so much more than just photography. In order to have longevity and repetition, to not just book your ideal clients and then not anymore, be good at everything you do. In your emails, email back promptly. Don't take a week to respond to somebody. Respond right away. Make sure you are communicating clearly, thoroughly. Make sure that you are going above and beyond in everything you do. Everything you do, do it well. Love your neighbor as yourself. Like, treat people the way you'd want to be treated. That will take you further in this business than most anything else ever could. Word of mouth is a huge, important thing. You can book a bunch of incredible destination weddings, but if you do a bad job at communicating with them or setting expectations, people are going to find out if you are a good person to work with or not. And so if you want to have your dream client and continue to get those dream clients, be good at everything you do. And I'm not saying you have to be exceptionally talented at QuickBooks. I'm just saying everything that you do, do it to the best of your ability. It is absolutely crucial if you want your business to grow, to get to a point where you are outsourcing. That is going to prevent burnout and allow you to have longevity in your business if you can outsource as much as possible. I think it takes a village to run a business. And sure, when you're first starting out and you only have a handful of clients, or you're just not working a ton, sure, doing it by yourself is fine. But when you get to a point where you're booking a lot of clients and maybe you're traveling a lot, and then also maybe you have gotten married and have kids and you got a family going on, like, the bigger things grow, the more important it is to outsource. Maybe you never want your business to get to a point where it's big enough that you have to outsource. That's fine. You can keep it as simple or as big as you want it to be. But I'm just saying, if you want to prevent burnout and you're wanting your business to be bigger and to continue to grow and expand, you got to get it in your head that you're gonna need to outsource something so that you don't lose your sanity and so that you don't drop the ball in the things that are your responsibility. I just want to emphasize how important it is to not only post the kind of content that you want to get more of, like marketing and that sort of thing, but it's also important to have the right mindset, which means knowing your ideal client and your ideal work. So photographers, has anything I've said stuck? Are you planning on using any of these things, implementing them in your business? Let us know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys found useful, what you're maybe gonna try utilizing yourself for your business, and let us know if there's been anything that you have found for yourself super helpful in attracting your dream client that maybe wasn't mentioned in this video. We look forward to seeing you guys the next time.